All right, recording in progress. All right. Thank you all for coming today. I think you're really going to like what we have to talk about.
Great.
As a follow-up to our class 2 weeks ago when we were just talking about this lifestyle program. This is the second part of it. So I'm going to go over a couple of the slides that we shared 2 weeks ago, letting you all know if you participate in this entire series, at the end of the series, I'm going to forward a synopsis of the whole program with all the slides that we're going through so that everybody will be able to review it down the road until I put it into a online class format, and then it'll be a different way to view it. But you'll all get copies of it, so take notes if you want. Appreciate it if you do. Ask questions in the chat box, and I'll get to you when we take a break or two. But let me go back to now and just share the reason for this class. Most of you have been in a class of mine, fitness class. We just finished a tough one just a little bit ago. And I really felt the need to share my passion. And that's really an important part of this whole learning process is finding out what motivates you, what is your passion. Fitness classes and teaching fitness to people is one of my passions that's grown over the years. So that's why we got to where we're at today. I am going to get somebody, Ed's joining the group. Let me let Ed in. He's in the waiting room. And I am going to wait for him to show up here. He's joining. There's Ed. Ed, you can put your video on so we can take a look. So I can see when you're losing you or when I've got you in grip in what you want. So unmute yourself, unlock your camera. I should say turn your camera on, it'd be great. And once I get started, I'll mute everybody. And then if you want to speak, all you got to do is hit your space bar, unmute yourself to ask a question if we're asking for feedback at that point. So I'm going to go and mute you all right now. Okay, let me 1 second. Okay, let me go and share my screen here because I want to get back to that. We all seeing that right there? All right. Is everybody seeing my module one, part one? Thumbs up would be good. I'll make sure everybody's seeing it. All right, very good. Okay, let me lock this out of the way. Over to the side. So don't want to go over everything we learned about last week. And basically, this whole program is based on developing a lifestyle that supports you, not something that you want to try from now on or for a little while. It's about developing a lifestyle that supports you, your problems, your goals, your dreams, whatever you want. So we ended on this, and we talked a lot about what are a lot of problems people have and why they need to have a fitness program, why they need to have a nutritional program, why they need to learn about reducing stress in their life. It's all about thriving in our life. And one of the last problems we talked about is there's all the stuff available. There's teachers, there's courses, there's programs. You could go to the library and thousands of books on lifestyle and fitness. Why, again, are so many people still struggling to maintain their optimum health over their lifespan? We talked about health span versus lifespan in the first episode, the first class a few weeks ago, and this is just about that. So the problems: why is the incidence of preventable serious life-altering disease increasing exponentially? Why do we still have these problems when there's so much information available to us? This is my solution. This is pretty across the board. What most people will say that who are in this industry, most people just don't have help. They don't have a health-based plan to guide them. And most people don't have a mentor or coach to work them through the system. That is the sweet spot. That is what makes people successful. You look at athletes. They are probably the most fittest people that you know, professional athletes. Why are they so successful? They don't just show up at training camp day one or show up at the first game. They train. They have a plan. They have a nutritional plan. They have a fitness plan. They have this guide in front of them. They have coaches to help them. That's how they get to be supreme elite athletes. We may not be looking to run in a marathon or join any professional sport, but we want to be successful living our life as fit and as healthy as we can. So, like I said last week, it's not rocket science. Anyone can improve their health if they take command, control their life and their health and have a plan or a recipe. I say that recipe because I'll show you this. I've got my little Irish cookbook here, right? I've cooked Irish foods my whole life, but guess what? I still need this recipe book if I'm going to be successful, if I'm going to make the same tasting recipe time and time again, sweet and sour cabbage soup. I better follow this recipe. If I don't, it's not going to taste the same. So our plan is our recipe book. It's what's going to make us successful in developing this healthy lifestyle, is sticking to the plan, following your recipe from day one through the rest of your life. So another problem is how and where do we start? We're always looking for magic shortcuts. I mentioned the Sonobello commercials. Well, everybody, still weight loss is the number one reason people go to the gym. But they want to go get the Sonobello and get all their excess baggage removed, or they're looking for magic pills or silver bullets, as the old expression goes. But that's not going to work, folks. What works is following a program, following a system, and laying the foundation for this lifestyle. We talked about self-discovery. I sent you some forms on the self-discovery, learning what you need to know and why, learning what the cornerstones of a healthy lifestyle are, then learning who can teach it to you. Who are your mentors and coaches? And then for you to create your first plan, identifying your goals, long and short term. That's how we're going to get success, folks. That's how we build this program from day one. We had the discovery forms. I sent you the goal worksheets, the dreams. I asked you to write down some lessons and regrets you've had in life. Personal health history form. This is the most important part of your longevity future. It's your roadmap. You look at your life. You look at people in your family tree. We're not going to extend our family genetics greatly. We can make additions and we can get better at it, but we can't actually extend our life too much. We can, looks like somebody wants to get in here. Let me pause that share. I don't see who it is. Oh, I guess not. All right. Can back to the share. Are you back to seeing my screen? Okay. The health history, finding out what your genetics are, finding out lessons that you need to learn about in your life, finding out what your routines are, what your habits are, and what your rituals are. What are the good rituals? What are the good, bad of all of this? That's how we're going to learn about our future. So this is the second part. This is what we talk about. This is it, folks. This is the secret. This is the secret sauce, as they say. If you want to have a healthy lifestyle, you must first build your foundation. You got to know yourself, your past, like you said, your history, your present, and the future. You need to know what goals and dreams you have, and you need to know what your passions are. If you embrace those and you look at that as a goal, just living a healthy lifestyle as your main one goal, you're going to have the most success. In doing that, we need balance in our lives. So we need the fitness first. I've said this for many years. If you start a fitness program, the rest will fall into place. There's a synergistic occurrence that happens. When you start exercising, your attitude improves, your mindset improves. You then want to eat healthier. And then you're working out, you're getting healthier, eating healthier. And then you want to learn how to reduce stress in your life. So it kind of is a nice, easy flow to it that helps you. If you just spend all your time and effort on eating and not worrying about a fitness program or worrying about the stress or having a good attitude towards it, you're going to be very unbalanced and you're not going to have the overall success you're looking for. So we need to have this plan that has all this information in place, your foundation, again, knowing yourself, building that fitness foundation, that first cornerstone, then your mindset, attitude cornerstone, get onto your healthy nutrition, and then reducing the stress. If we work and we put one little block in each of those cornerstones at a time, we're not going to be overwhelmed. We're going to be able to follow the program. We're not going to be overwhelmed by the program. That's going to be the key. This is the secret to your success. So we need to have that plan. Again, we talked about it's your recipe. Know who you are and what you are. That's your starting point. Knowing those successes you've had, knowing the failures you've had in your life is really what's helped develop your character, develop who you are, both fitness and in your health and the rest of your life. So we're going to build those cornerstones. We're going to build them with balance. And we're going to find a coach, mentor, somebody to work with you to help you get this program rolling so that you have the greater chance for success. There is no failure. It's just only how much success what you're able to find. So this plan is going to learn from the past. Again, finding out what any failure. Maybe you started an exercise program and you did it for a while and you gave up because you didn't feel you're getting the benefits. Well, you may have. You just may not have been able to understand the benefits that you were getting. 1 second. Okay. So the cornerstones, like I said, we build a 4 cornerstones to keep that life balance. We're going to start that foundation, learning what we need to build on ourselves. We're going to set that fitness program. We're going to set this mindset program. We're going to put one little step at a time, one brick, to show you how you're going to improve your mindset towards exercise, towards your diet, your nutrition, and towards stress. That's going to elevate your whole life. We're going to build those one at a time. Cornerstone, block. That's why we're only talking about a few things here. I'm not giving you a very extensive list of programs of fitness, of this or that. It's basic. It's baby steps. Look at it from the 30,000-foot view. You look at your lifestyle. Then you get down, you look where you want to be. You picture in your mind what that lifestyle is that you want. And then you help build it. You get down to the ground level from that high view and you start taking action steps. And this is what we're going to work on, is the action steps, because theory is one thing, taking the action steps is another. So this is our action steps basically for our foundation, is having a plan, building the foundation, learning about yourself, and setting this course in motion, one step at a time. To become that person you need to make small steps. You're not going to do good if you take on too much change in your life, too fast, too soon. The terrible twos. You'll hear me say that many times. We're going to slowly build those cornerstones up, adding bricks individually. When we get to fitness, we're going to talk about the first cornerstone is your fitness, your overall fitness plan. The second one will be starting your walking program. So that's just 2 basic things to start your fitness program. I'm not going to give you, you're going to do 5 weeks, 5 days, this all the time. As I know from the past, you won't follow through. It's really hard to do that. So we're going to do this gradually. That's why I spread this program out over this long period of time. So we're not overwhelming you with too much. If you want really quick action, take those action steps one at a time. We'll add those bricks. A coach mentor is so valuable to keep you motivated and to keep you moving forward, to give you the feedback you need to know that the exercise program that you're on is working for you. You know, are you seeing the results? Is your heart rate reducing? Is your stress level reducing? Do you feel stronger, more stable? You don't feel like you're unbalanced on your feet as much anymore. These are all things and the values of a coach that you're not going to get that feedback if you're on your own. Because most people, 98% of people, hit the gym the first of the year. I'm going to do all this, and that, and we all know what happens. They end up backing out, slowing down, too much, too soon, too hard, and back to the old person. And we don't want that. We want to put you in, set you up to make the steps that you need to improve your life in the areas that you need most. Your fitness program may be very well, may be good, it may be complete, it may be supporting you well. It may not be. You'll find it out when we get through the fitness section and see what you're doing. See what exercises you're doing. We'll get to the nutrition. We'll talk about what basic nutritional components you need to stay healthy. Because as we get older, they're different. Our tastes change, our needs change. You can't eat like you were 20 years old anymore. We all know that. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But you need to eat enough to make sure that you're supporting your muscles in your body, keeping you strong so that you can live a progressive life and moving forward. So just quickly, we're going to build that foundation. Know who you are, learning what and why. Again, what and why has worked for you. There's I talk about the doers, the howers, and the whyers. The doers just want to do something. They don't want to know why they need to do it, and they don't need to know or don't want to know how it's helping them. You need to do that. You need to learn who can teach you any of this information. Being a lifelong learner is one of the most, we all read. A lot of people read. Some people read more than others. But if you're reading and getting benefit to your life out of it, then that's good reading. We want to learn from other people, from other successful people. There are many programs out there for bodybuilders, for gymnastics people, for dancers, for swimmers. They all train differently. We're training you for your life and for the needs that you have in your life. Anything else is on top of that. You've got to build that foundational strength as you can. New magazine that I've been getting, Life Extension. Very good articles on things that are scientifically proven to extend your life, from nutritional components to exercise to making sure that you can live healthy. So you need to learn who can teach you this information. Then you need to build that plan. As part of the self-discovery and learning what we'd mentioned, that what our past failures were. So that's important so we don't go down that same path in the future when we construct a fitness plan for you, for your life, that we don't make those same wrong turns that you had in the past. Again, failures are motivators as much as they are deflators. You can take some benefit out of failure and motivate yourself to move forward. Again, learning from lessons in life. I mentioned in the paperwork and what we talked about the last session about how my history, how me growing up and my failures led me down the road to where I'm at today. It didn't just happen by happenstance that I became a fireman and that I got into fitness. There was all part of a progression. And I learned, it was all from lessons that I learned, from the failures I had, from the quitting that I did in my life, and learning from that to move forward. So we need to know. I suggest everybody take that deep dive, that self-discovery, find out about themselves, write down a few of the lessons. We've got those documents that we're going to go over to learn about some of those failures. Put them down on paper so you can use them to motivate yourself. We need to know the roadblocks and potholes. Your whole life could be super busy. You may be a caretaker for a person or two. You may be a babysitter. You may have dogs. You may have jobs. You may have whatever that is a roadblock for you constructing that lifestyle. So we got to find what these roadblocks and avoid all the potholes along the way. And it can be done. It takes time. It takes some practice. It takes some self-discovery. Again, we talked about this is what steers your life. Your routines, your habits, and your rituals steer your life. If you complete that daily activities worksheet I sent you, it'll identify what your routine is. It'll tell you what time you get up every day. It tells you what you normally eat for breakfast, for your meals, what you do during the day. In that routine, because we're all very routine based, you're going to find some spots in there that you can make changes to improve your life and your life through your lifestyle. So you have to put it on paper to see where it is and where those spots are that you can make small changes, small baby step changes. I asked you to complete the dreams and goal sheet, that form that I sent you. This is going to identify for you what your goals are. You know, fitness, nutrition, life, What dreams do you have? What are you still looking to do in life? I'm still not done. I still got other dreams that I'm looking towards. But my dream is basically right now is building this platform out so I can help as many people as I can. That's what gets me up at 5 a.m, do a few hours of work in the office before I go out and teach my classes, and come home and play with the dog, do the things I like to do, because I get that out of the way. So those are my dreams, and we all have those dreams and goals, and you need to capture them, and you identify them so you know what you want to work towards. Again, it's that 30,000-foot view of your life, picturing your ideal life, putting that down, knowing what you're working towards. Did you complete the health history form? That information health history form we talked about twice now. It's going to tell you what your framework is, what your overall lifespan is pretty close to. Unless some other intervention comes in place, an illness that's avoidable, hopefully, or something else that changes your life dramatically. We have a lifespan. We're trying to increase the health span within that lifespan. If you do that, you're going to live a lot more beneficial lives in your life, be happier for what you're doing and why you're doing it. And it makes you better able to care for other people. We take priority of ourselves, put ourselves first, like you're doing by attending this class. You're trying to learn what you can to help yourself. That is the goal. I mean, that you're on the way by doing that. In that health information, we talked about your health status, your markers, your numbers. What is your blood pressure? What is your A1C level? What are your blood markers? These are things that a lot of people have done regularly and some people don't. You need the record system now online is so much better than it used to be, to see your blood work, see what your cholesterol was this year compared to last year and the year before. It's all charted there for you now on these online health systems, and they all have to make that available for you. Take advantage of that. Learn about your numbers. It's one of the most important things you need to do for yourself is know your numbers. Say that all the time. Again, order those blood panels, get a physical, order all that blood work that I gave you on that recommended blood work form. These are the things that the markers that most people have centered on is giving you the best results, giving you the best feedback on what you're doing. You'll see if your blood glucose is slowly rising. So you can take interventions into reducing your blood glucose levels, as an example. There's a lot of things you have at your access that you can do if you know what those numbers are. And you're going to get those numbers, your blood marker numbers, through your blood panels. So again, knowing your numbers is an important part. This is where you identify your red flags. If you have high cholesterol, that's a red flag. That's a bad number. That's something you need to work towards. Your nutritional plan will help address that. Your supplement plan, if you're on different supplements or medications, are also there to help you to manage those red flags. But you need to know them. I've lost family and friends from people who refuse to go see their doctor to see what their health status is, develop life-ending illnesses that were most likely preventable if they took control of their life, did what they needed to do for themselves. So we need to know what those red flags are. Your fitness status, you need to know what your strengths and weaknesses are. We all have them. I can't do backflips anymore, even though I have tried. But that's not a weakness. That's just what I use to assess where I'm at. I want to get back to doing those kind of things. I know I'm increasing my fitness level if I do that. But we need to know what those fitness levels are. So how are we going to do that? I mentioned it before, mentor and coach. Fitness instructor, anybody it could be. It could be a family member that you know is healthier than most other people in the family. It could be a neighbor of yours. It could be a cousin. It could be a coworker who is very involved with health and fitness. They can be your mentor and be your coach. These are important. These relationships are going to help you tremendously. As an instructor, I rely on the relationship I have with the people in my class to know if they're getting what they should be getting out of the class. I see it in their eyes. I see them struggling. I see them thriving. So these are the things that I get as a coach to help my students. So this is kind of the two-way street, that you get benefits with a mentor and a coach. It's not something you need to have long-term. I work with people one-on-one for years. I've worked with people once a month. I've worked with people every 6 months. We get together, we do a little evaluation, we check out where they're at with their fitness program, and we make some recommendations and some changes at that point. So it's not a something that you need maybe long-term, depending on how you are able to follow that plan. Is that exercise adherence, that diet adherence, making sure you don't fall off that wagon too far, that you can bring it back in and eating a healthier diet. All these things, not being overwhelmed so that your attitude and your mental just fatigue makes you want to quit. And that's what we're trying to avoid by working this program at this pace, at this slowness. Other fitness professionals out there, you may have a exercise physiologist, or you may have had to go to a doctor for some kind of physical therapy. These are professionals that are available to you to give you feedback to help you along the way. Important to have. In doing so, they're going to help you with your fitness goals. Identify and revise your fitness goals. I tell people, I don't expect you to be in my class forever. You should be looking for something else. You should be working from one class to elevate your fitness level to move on to the next class. Some of the classes I teach are basic, and some are a little bit more advanced. And I've had people graduate out of the top classes and looking for something more. That's what I want to see. I want to see you thriving enough that want to take on more fitness classes, to take on more challenges for yourself, to build a stronger life for you. You're going to do that within a fitness assessment. And that could be as simple as standing up and sitting down from a chair as many times as you can in 30 seconds, to walking around the block, walking up and down 2 flights of stairs. There's many ways to assess your fitness level. That's what you seek with your coach, your mentor, your personal trainer, whatever it is that you're working with on a regular basis. They're going to help with that fitness assessment so you get that feedback you need. So who's on your team, I say? Who do you have? You need to know who your doctor is. You need to know who your personal trainer, coach, class instructor is that's on your team, that you can use to help build that lifestyle for you. When you get that information from these people, you need to have a discussion with your doctor. When you get that blood panel, this is all part of this foundation, folks. We need to know what our doctor recommends. We need to know what interventions they recommend. You can make the decision yourself. A lot of people, I'm not saying it's good or bad, take whatever their doctor says as 100% gospel, and I haven't for a long time. I like to do the research myself. I don't just take one doctor's word. Tell people I'm being treated for, after COVID, I had some kind of upper lung issue. They said, hey, you got asthma. Let's get you on some medications. Well, why? I said, why do you think I need this particular medication? What are the side effects? What are other options for me? Do the research yourself. Don't just do whatever any one doctor says. Be your best person. Be your best patient by learning what you need to learn about whatever your physician recommends, whatever your personal trainer, your coach, your mentor suggests. Ask them why. Why do they think that's the case? Get that information, folks. That's all you need. Again, this is going to help you get a good picture of your current health status. So then you can move forward. You got to know where you're starting from. What the starting point is the day you get that information, you get it, boom, this is where we're at. I'm a 1 on a 10 scale. I want to be a 10. So I have steps to take along the way. And we'll take those steps one at a time. Again, this is helped and brought on by your goals, dreams worksheet that you filled out. So you've had this information. You should have it available, hopefully have it available, so that you can produce the plan that you need moving forward. Again, you're going to use a goals, dreams worksheet. You can use a health history, your routines, habit, and rituals. This is the information you're going to have available on your desk so you can assemble your plan. You can assemble a written plan. so that we can work it with. So I'm going to go, what we're going to do here, I'm going to stop this share and I'm going to pull up a couple other forms. So let's get out a blank sheet of paper or that outline I gave you. Let me pull it up here, add a new share. Share screen. Okay, I'm going to share you my health-based fitness plan. And the reason I sent this for you is that it's not very overwhelming. It's very simple. I simply list who I am, what I want to do, how I'm going to accomplish it. 3 simple things to help build my foundation. I wrote down some of my goals to maintain a healthy family life. Continue to build my knowledge on health and longevity. Continue to share my passion. These are the goals that I have working for me in 2023. I put this together a month ago. Continue competing in recreational sports and activities like I do as much as I can. So my dreams, what by improving my life and my health condition will help me travel more to see how beautiful our country is. I want to start a nonprofit that offers sound health fitness education and staff with volunteers serving senior centers around the area. People who are in senior apartment complexes. I worked in that atmosphere for a few years, and I really saw the benefit that they got out of having a basic, simple exercise class. I want to start this foundation so that I can provide that around the area and moving outward to do that. I'm going to build my brand under this format. My business, PrimeFit, is put together strictly to help me show my passion, share my passion. So those are my dreams. I also I wrote down, these are lessons I learned. And the reason I like to put this, I like to refer back to these lessons as I work on my yearly plan to help give me that motivation to move forward. I was a Boy Scout, it says. I learned a lot as a Boy Scout. My dad was the Scoutmaster, so I had to learn more than most kids because we had to be the Scoutmaster's son. We had to be the best. But it taught me what I had to do to be a better Boy Scout was to practice, to study, all those good things. It helped make me a lifelong learner. I think that all came from that. That was a lesson I learned. As growing up in high school and that, speaking of sports, I learned I had to work harder in athletics than most everybody else because I was smaller, shorter, weaker, smaller kids. So I had to learn that I had to work harder. I learned that quitters never win and winners never quit because I did that. I quit on my basketball team in high school. I quit on myself a couple times. So that helped me learn the final lesson that when one door closes, looking for that open window and an opportunity to find your passion. When that happened, I found a passion becoming a firefighter and servicing others. Being a firefighter was one of the greatest jobs in the world. Got me into service, got me into fitness, got me more interested back in my fitness. So these are lessons I learned to help me in life. Some of the problems I've learned is time allocation. I'm really busy. I got a lot of things on my schedule. I have to balance my working for the business than working on the business. Typical problems a lot of people have. And keeping a balance, avoiding those terrible twos, putting too much time and effort on one cornerstone of my life and not having that balance that I need. So I set up a weekly schedule. I set up a monthly schedule. I have my whole month planned out on a nice little board. I was going to take a picture, but I didn't to show you that. And I set my daily schedule. I wake up at 5 a.m. so I can get 2 hours of business working on the business before I do 3 hours working for the business by teaching classes. I set up solutions in my routine management. When I find a routine's not working, I address it immediately and I make changes to it as needed to make me more successful. So this is my health-based lifestyle plan for 23. This is what I've come up with. This is what I have to work on this year. So let me stop that. And I gave you then the blank form. Okay, so this is your blank form. Everybody should have got this. If you don't have it, you could just write on a piece of paper. we're not going to go through this line by line, but I want you to write this stuff out, such as I did. Fill it out. Who are you? What do you want to do, and how are you going to accomplish it in a healthy lifestyle? What are we going to do to build that foundation? Throw your goals down, put them all in there, whatever they may be. Just a handful is all that's needed to keep you motivated. List a couple of your dreams. Throw down some of the lessons that you've learned that you've got from the forums that you've done some self-discovery on. Put some lessons learned down. Throw a couple problems on. Maybe it's a roadblock. Maybe it's you don't drive anymore. It could be many things. So that's a problem. That's a roadblock that you have to find solution to if you're going to get to an exercise class or a doctor's or whatever it may be. Throw some solutions down for that. This is where your coach and mentor can help you, is help you find options and solutions, such as the solution with my work schedule being too many classes. I learned what I had to do was to just simply cut out some classes. I had to let go of classes. I hated to do that, but it was something that was holding me back because I was doing 22 hours, 21 hours of classes a week. Didn't give me time to work on the business, didn't give me time to recover from my exercise classes. I was wearing down, I was breaking down. So I had to back off. So I learned what I had to do, how I had to do that from the way I felt. So I took a schedule, I put it all on paper. I'll make a copy and I'll send it to you guys in the next email to show you what I'm talking about. It's on a board and it's just Mondays. This is my class. And I have a schedule Monday for the whole month. And next to it, I have a daily schedule. So what do I do on Mondays? What do I do on Tuesdays? All the way to Fridays. So I can look and see what I have to do. I get up, I go into my fitness room where I have that on the wall, and I take a look at it. Okay, this is Monday. This is on my normal routine. I may have other things. I always keep a notepad next to my desk here, and if things come up, I write it down. That's what I get to as well. I use this form, and I want you to use it too. You use it for what it's meant to be, is to give you that foundation, to give that information so that we can move this plan forward. We all following that? Good. Got one more to share with you. That one. Okay, the routines, rituals. This is the form I sent to you all. You should have got it today or over the weekend. Daily schedule, daily commute. These are the routines. If you get up at 8 o'clock, because you just wake up at 8 o'clock, and that's causing you not to get enough work done, set an alarm clock. Whatever it is, find a solution based on this information. This is your routine. If you're looking for time in your day, this is where you're going to find what are your daily commute, what time you leave. If you work, where do you have to go? You may have, responsibilities with, personal care for someone else. You may have to leave at a certain time to go there. These are things that'll help you. Your eating habits. What are your typical diet and foods? We'll get into more of that nutrition, but just gives you an idea of what your habits are. Is it fast food based? Is it more home cooking? Do you spend dinners together with the family? Do you eat at all different times? These are all things that are part of your routines that turn into habits, good and bad. So if we want to make some improvement, we want to live a healthier, happier life, we got to find what we can do to make some adjustments in that. How often do you eat out? Do you do meal prep? Are you a meal prepper? I'm trying really hard this year to be more of a meal prepper. Sundays is my meal prep day. I shop on Saturdays. I prep on Sundays, as many dinners as I can prep, because it frees up time to do other things. So there's a lot of things you can learn in the nutrition section that we'll talk about that. Some tools that we'll offer that we'll talk about that can help you along the way with that. Personal contacts, who are your regular people you see on a daily basis? What are the stressors that they may provide you? We all have family members that give us stress. I have them. Most people do. So we need to know what the stressors are. Are they people, or are they things? Are they habits that stress you out? Is it money-based? Is it time-based? Is it family? Whatever the stress is, just jot down a few of the stressors. Circle of friends. Who are the close circle of friends you have? Who are the people that you can rely on or maybe bring into your plan to help you improve your life at the same time improving their life? Finding a good exercise partner. It's so much better if you have an exercise partner. A lot of people take the classes because they like the camaraderie with the class. It gets them there. It's social. That's what circle of friends are for. You need to keep that up. So these are all simple things on your routines, habits, and rituals. It was a simple thing to produce. Go through this, fill them out, have it ready. I talk about what I've done is I've got my little book here. This is for this class, health-based PrimeFITTlife lifestyle, lunch and learn program, so senior. So I've got my chapters. I've got a simple little book here binder, and I'm putting all that information in here so that it's at my fingertips. And you can have it at your fingertips to help you. So that is the purpose for these documents, these forms. So with that being said, I need a drink of water. I said a lot. All right. Let me try to unmute you all so we can ask all to unmute. You can unmute yourself. Click that little mute button in the lower left-hand corner. Opening up your microphones. Raise your hands. I see there's some questions in here. Can a family and friendly member be your coach? Absolutely. Absolutely. I had this discussion similar to that with my older brother. He had mentioned that we were having this discussion about what we're doing in our lives, and yearly he's got health issues, this and that. And he asked me how I get involved with certain things and why I did. I says, well, he was my older brother. He was the guy that set the example for me. He's the guy to get me involved with sports. He was a fireman first. He got me into fire service. He taught me to learn, he advised me. He was my mentor. He was my family member. So yes, they can be your best coaches. They can be your best cheerleaders, is somebody in your family. No doubt about it. Do you make any tracking options such as Fitbits? Yes. Good questions. I do wear a Fitbit. I wear it every day of the year. I've got my Fitbit. I got a new one this year. Fancy one. Because I wore the other one out. I rely on this for many things. They're all tools. That's a fitness tool. Food tracking. We get into some food tracking tools to track your diet. Just writing out certain things about your diet. Diet thing, the most important thing is keeping a food log. I tell people for 30 days, I want you to write down everything you eat. And then an hour after you eat it, 2 hours after you eat it, write down how you feel. I had dinner, it was this. I feel great after, I feel sluggish, I feel tired, felt nauseous, felt excited, whatever. Believe me, people, your nutrition is giving you a lot of that. What you eat. We don't take a look at it on a regular basis. I know there's certain foods I can't eat anymore because it causes certain issues with me. So guess what? I've learned to stay away from those foods for the most part. So these are all things that you can find out with your food diary. And I don't do it all the time. I'll just do it every now and then. I'll take a pad of paper out like this, and I'll write down Monday, this is what I had for lunch. Today I had a bowl of frosted mini wheats and Raisin Bran, the crunchy Raisin Bran, mix them together. A little bit of skim milk. That was my breakfast with a little fruit cup. So I had my breakfast. So I write that down. If I was tracking this month, I'd write that down. How do I feel afterwards? Felt great. My body responds great to that. That's why it's so normal in my diet, because I found things that work for me. All right, that was a good question. Any other questions along that path from anybody else? If not,
what is the name of that health magazine you mentioned?
Who's saying that, Gail? Life Extension.
Gail, yes.
Yes, I didn't see who it was. Okay, Life Extension. Folks, there's a lot of magazines, a lot of periodicals. I've mentioned this in class, I don't know how many times. My favorite, Experience Life magazine. Please, if you got any magazine for anybody on health and fitness, Experience Life magazine. It's put out by the company Life that owns and runs Lifetime Fitness. It is strictly articles on health and fitness. There's very little advertising in here. So it's got some of the best. I've been reading this for 10 years. It's a great magazine. Again, Life Fitness is a periodical that I just started getting. Now, this is full of articles on health because they sell products that help that problem. So they're identifying certain issues in life. This particular article right here in the front is Body and Brain Smart. What impact of vitamin D, omega-3, and simple exercise and cancer risks? So they have a nice discussion on all those things in cancer. And yeah, they have some supplements that they'll sell you if you want, but you just read the articles. I mean, they're great articles, great things you can learn from these kind of periodicals. We're on back to the other one that I read every week, Prevention Magazine, once a month. Folks, this isn't the old Prevention Magazine. This is strictly articles with very little bit of advertising. It's all on this one, walking stress away. Walking program. I'm big on the walking program. Articles in here are tremendous for. That's basically it. The magazines that I read. A lot of podcasts. I watch a lot of podcasts, videos from leaders in the fields of whatever it is in longevity, and more into, since I'm trying to help people build healthier lifestyle. What doesn't work is just important. What does work? We need to find out a certain list of traits of unhealthy people as well as traits of healthy people. So I'm gathering this information. What are the top 10 traits of people who live to be 100 years old, but stay healthy at 100 years old, not 100 years old in a nursing home, barely alive. Nobody wants to be there. Please believe me, nobody wants to be there. So there's a big difference, in learning about doing that. So that's what I'm trying to help is to learn about what are these healthy traits. The tools that you get in this program will help you identify that trait in you or not, or help you establish that trait. Having breakfast every day, having fruit every day, whatever it may be, all these tools. What can you do to start that new habit, that new routine that's going to become that habit? That's going to become that ritual. Who has coffee every morning before they do anything? A lot of people. It's a ritual. You're not going to have a good day if you don't have any coffee. I understand that. I don't have coffee. I don't drink coffee, but I can understand that. So those are rituals. Those are routines that become so entrenched as habits that they're rituals that you can't do without. There are a lot of those in our life, good and bad, that you can modify, change, get rid of completely, start new ones, replace them. But you're only going to do it if it's something that you relate to, and you find a story to. Habits. I have so many books on habits and how to form habits, and I'll share a lot of those as we get into the attitude motivation section, because your attitude and your motivation is so important to get you up every day. People who don't want to get out of bed, don't get out of bed. People who have something to look forward every day, get out of bed, they're up early. I wake up earlier than I want to, trust me, but I do it because there's a reason for it. So these are all traits and habits. And you look at the blue zones. I've mentioned this before. Anybody read the Blue Zones book? Those people have specific traits that make them live longer, and they're 90% diet, and the other 10% is hard work. Because they don't drive cars, they don't, they walk, they work the fields. These are traits that people in those areas of the world live to be the longest, most active lifestyles. We're not as active as that on a regular basis, even though we may exercise a few days a week, 5 days a week. It may not be the right exercise that you need. So we need to find out what is it that exercise you may need. And then, again, that's based on what your goals are. What are your goals? Is it a fitness-based goal? Is it to walk more? Is it to play with grandkids, play with dogs, walk dog, whatever it may be? Now you reverse engineer your life to get to that goal. What that goal is. Let's figure out the steps you need to get you to that goal, and just take them one at a time. We're not going to throw 10 things at you and say, you need to exercise, you need to walk 2 miles a day, you need to swim, you need to do this. No, it's not going to work. I know it's not going to work. You know, if you're coming to one of my classes and you have been for a year, you get it. You know, you understand that it's that consistent basis that you need to do to keep you, you know, to get you fit and healthy as much as you need to be. So those are important. Go through those forms, folks. Go through the forms that I sent you, fill them out. Get them together. Use me as your coach. If you don't have a coach and you'd like to reach out to me, send me an email, go to my website, go to the book a call button on the top of my website, and it'll schedule a call. We could spend 15 minutes talking about whatever it is. You know, I'm not charging anybody in this group for that. I do have paying clients that I do, but that's not my goal right now. My goal is to develop this program, and you're helping me do that, to share, you know, spread my passion about this and help people live healthier lives. So that's why I do it. That's why I'm here.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I'm sure you have a couple. Go ahead, throw it at me. Lifestyle oriented. Talk about lifestyle here. All right. Nobody does high wire roping or anything like that, right? So we don't have to talk about that. The next class, like I said, you're building this lifestyle from the foundation. All this information you need with the goals and your failures. So when we start into the fitness first module, next class, the first Tuesday of the month, first Monday, I should say, we're going to start talking about fitness, and we're going to build 2 bricks. We're going to start that foundation by putting 2 bricks in your fitness. Then we're going to go the next month after that, we're going to go into mindset and attitude. We're going to build 2 bricks. Then we're going to go into stress reduction. And after we've been through all 4 of those cornerstones, we're going to start over again. We're going to go to the fitness. We're going to build 2 more cornerstones. So we're slowly increasing your fitness program, gradually, brick by brick at a time, so that you can stay with it and not be overwhelmed. Add 2 more bricks to the mindset, some tools that you can use to stay happy and healthy. We'll go to the nutrition, talk about 2 more tools, 2 more bricks that you can institute in your nutrition plan to help you thrive more, and more stress reduction. So we're going to get through 4 bricks. It's not, like I said, I'm not throwing 10 items for you to do. You're going to have 4 items or 4 new habits, 4 new traits in fitness, in mindset, nutrition, and stress reduction, maintenance. That's going to be all you need to get going forward. When you got those 4 and they're in place, and you trust me, if you've instituted 16 new things in your life or changed 16 things in your life by the end of the year, you will be a changed person. I mean, just think about it. Whatever your goal is, if it's weight loss, if it's strength increase, whatever it is, if you put these tools in place, you put these bricks in place and you work at it, you're going to be well along the way to living a happy and healthier life, and that'll make me happier than you would know. So, any other questions? I appreciate you showing up today. Like I said, you can always send me an email, tim@PrimeFITTlife.com, or my Gmail address that came with your invitation to this. I respond to both of those every day. Book a call. I'm willing to help any of you out as much as I can along this process. All right, we're good. Look, I kept it at 58 minutes, a little longer than I wanted to, but I have a tendency to speak a lot.
Oh,
all right, Gene, I appreciate it. Gail,
Thanks, Tim.
Kim,
Bye,
appreciate y'all
everyone.
showing up.
thank you.
We'll see you if come to the live session on the fitness in 2 weeks. It's going to be good. You're going to learn about what you need to do, why you need to do it. And then we'll put that fitness block in place. So we'll be moving down that path quickly, starting those cornerstone building. All right. Again, folks, thanks a lot.
Okey-dokey.
Enjoy your day. Get out. It's sunny.
You too.
All right.
Happy spring, everyone.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
All right,
Right.
folks. We'll see you. Thanks a lot
Bye.
again. Have a good day.
Mara.
All right.